Hello and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name's Colette and I'm here today to do the reading for the new moon in Leo that took place on the 28th of July at 5 degrees 21 minutes I think it was of the sign of Leo. Sorry about that, couldn't see what was going on. And yeah, the new moon energy is big. It's really big. I've got all the new moon cards over here. For anybody who watched my astrology video, you may have some idea what's going on at this time, or even if you didn't watch my video, you may have some idea of what's going on at this time. But the new moon, the sun and the moon come together at the time of the new moon, and it's in Leo. So these are the cards that are showing this energy. The sun, the moon. Moon represents the people, the soul, the emotions. The sun is our spirit, our force, our drive, and it's taking place in Leo, which is ruled by the sun. So it's very much highlighting that energy of our spirit, our drive, our life force. And it's taking place in the 5th house, which is the house of pleasure. And joy, happiness, holidays. Again, if you're interested in finding out more about the astrology, I have put my astrology reading out there. And also it's a fire element sign, so there's a lot of fire energy out there at this time. And then on this side we've got the rare triple conjunction that is taking place in Taurus that involves Uranus, the North Node and Mars. And so the reading that I'm doing today is for the next 2 weeks, but it could even last longer because this energy here is going to last way past that as well. And I think that that's kind of showing up in the reading already. So for those of you who haven't been here before, thank you very much. Welcome to my reading. I'm going to start the reading itself off with a card from the Inner Visions deck. And I've already pulled it because it does take some time to try and find the cards in this particular deck. They don't have numbers, and that makes it quite difficult to find them. And so this one is called From the Eye of the Hurricane, and I really think as an overall energy for this reading and for this next 6 months coming up from this conjunction that's taking place, this is a really fitting card. So I'm going to read from the book what it says. I hope that you can see some of this without, they are very shiny cards, so they do tend to reflect a lot in the actual video as well. So it says, personally, I really dislike this card and everything about it. This is from the woman who's actually painted the cards and written the book as well. I found the colours depressing, and it seemed to take forever to do. No matter how much I had to paint in a deep sea dive, or no matter how much I tried to paint in a deep sea diver, and that's really interesting actually, because that's one of the things that I spoke about in my astrology read yesterday, was about when in deep waters become a diver. So that's quite a good connection there as well. So it turned into a frog. So frog it remained. I later realised it had to be a frog, as this represents transformation, which can only come through situations such as this card represents. And this is also this triple conjunction energy here as well. Exactly what we're going through at this time, this massive transformation, chaos. So the frog climbs out from the wall of a hurricane after a period of chaos in life. Hurricane-like conditions. You often find yourself at the still centre point of poise, the eye. Here, you can, amidst the turmoil of circumstance, find that quiet centre. It is when you are in the stillness of the centre of the hurricane of life that you have to muster up enough strength to see you through to the other side, which, though just as turbulent, is not quite so bad, having experienced the first blows of chaos. And that's really where we're at this time. We are in those kind of first blows of chaos, because Uranus is all about chaos. He's all about changing things to bring in a future energy. He's always very future oriented energy, Uranus. But to get there, we have to go through all this chaos. So at the foot of the picture is a stormy scene of rocky mountains, though of rainbow coloured hues, being hit randomly by lightning, along with a rain-filled sky. That's also something that Uranus rules over as well, is electricity and lightning in particular, which is why we may see a lot more storms at this time too. This indicates circumstances beyond our control, which can unexpectedly cause havoc, affecting all under its influence. And it's got a kind of tower energy about this card as well, because we can't control these circumstances when they kick in. The picture reversed shows a more peaceful landscape, but still rather stark, windswept tree. Okay. So if you turn it up that way, it shows a different picture. The eye of the hurricane is mirrored here in what could be a sunset or sunrise. It is the dawn of a new day, or the ending of a less than perfect but complete day or situation in life. The tree in the reversed position, left hand side, represents the past, indicating that one's troubles are nearly over. When in the upright position, the tree is on the right, indicating the hurricane is just about to hit. Heed the warning. Interesting. Maybe it should be held that way. I don't know. Keep your face to the sunshine, then you do not see the shadows. This is the card that has "You wish you hadn't been born," or more appropriately tattooed on the midwife's wrist should be "Abandon hope, all ye who enter here." In nature we have the eye of the storm, the centre of solitude and calm in the midst of the chaos of nature's furies. Each of us also has a place of calm centred deep within our being, the place at the heart of us that is always tranquil despite outer conditions. Those who practice meditation, relaxation techniques have worked towards being able to find this place of peace. Many people struggle with life's upheavals and storms without knowing how to find that centre that allows us to make more informed decisions and choices, free from the whirlwinds of thoughts and emotion. So it is a really reflective card. I just want to see if you can see that little frog there climbing out of all that chaotic energy, and there's like a ladder in a way that's leading down, but there's all this lightning that he's got to try and stay away from as well, from getting hit by. So mastering our world's centres around, finding our place of peace, that silent centre that is our connection to our source and to the universe. True power lies in this silent centre, not in struggling against the forces of nature and external circumstances. And that is kind of what I said yesterday in my astrology reading as well, that as all this chaos kicks in, we will find, or we need to find, that centre to dive down deeper under all of that chaos and kind of try and remain as calm as we can, because we also need to be there to help out other people as well who also are going to find it really difficult. So let's see what the actual reading itself is saying to us. Here we have the Five of Cups to start with. Five of Cups is often a card of sorrow. Spilt cups down here show that something is no longer complete, no longer full, no longer sustainable is the word I'm getting, which is an interesting term at the moment. But there's something that is no longer sustainable. But there is this one cup left standing here, which kind of talks about there still being some hope, that things are not completely devastated, that things are not completely without a chance of things improving. The Five of Cups, it's midway between the Ace and the 10. And in this particular card you see her chasing after this figure here, which is Eros, and he's running out because he's not able to give her the information that she needs. And it's covered by the 10 of Wands here. And the 10 of Wands is a card of oppression, and usually self-oppression as well. It's usually ourselves that kind of create these situation, or this situation of feeling as though everything couldn't get any worse. It's like all of this creative energy with this fire here, but nowhere to channel it, nothing to put it into. It just seems like the end of the line, that there's no hope in many ways. And this is kind of saying there's no good crying over spilt milk, is what I'm getting from this as well. What's done is done. We can't go back and change that. We can only go forward. But at this time we're kind of sitting in this energy of not really knowing how to do that, how to go about that, how to make a difference in our lives, because we are kind of caught up in our own fears, worries. But the fire usually represents a creative element, quite Leo energy in many ways, creative fire. It could also represent all the chaos, and that as we kind of create, as this chaos is created around us, we could be creating more of it for ourselves as well. But there's just this general feeling with this card of like just giving up, like hopelessness. Like in a way it kind of feels quite despairing, like there'll never be another adventure, or there'll never be, like, you know, it's like life is kind of, how can you put it, like life has reached a place of disappointment, is what I'm getting here, because this is also disappointing energy as well, because something hasn't turned out the way that we wanted it to. But this is our challenge at this time. This is our crossing energy. Our challenge is to get beyond this being in this rut, this stuckness of feeling like we can't do anything, that we don't have the strength or the willpower. It's kind of how this is coming through for me. So in our head and what we are aware of at this time, we have the Magician in reverse. And for me, reverse cards usually mean an energy, particularly when it's a major arcana card, of something that's been hanging around for a long time. It's like an energy that's been in play for quite some time, that we're still not, because it's in reverse, we're still not learning the lesson or realizing what it is that we need to know from this. And the Magician, if you see here, I'll turn it up this way, he's standing at a crossroads, which is a bit like where we are at this time. We are at a crossroads in the collective energy. And we're at a place where anything is full of potential. It has potential. And that's really what this Magician card is saying as well, because it is that manifesting energy, and all of his tools are here. We've got the cup for the emotions, we've got the sword for the thinking, the thought, the mind. We've got the Caduceus, which represents the fire, the passion, the drive for something. And then we've got the Pentacle, which is literally the physical world in which it manifests itself. So it's kind of saying that there are we're in this place at this time, but we don't know how to do this. We don't know how to manifest it. And this is, I think, what this is saying here as well. We don't know how to manifest this new world. All we're doing, we're being caught up and consumed by our own worries and doubts and fears and stresses. It's kind of how this one's coming through. But we know as well with the Magician, in our what's in our head and what we're aware of, we know that there is a lot more. There is much more to the world, if you like. There is much more to life than what we have so far lived and experienced. We know, but we kind of hold ourselves back because we're still not certain which pathway to take. And it's interesting because we've had quite a few Grand Cross energies lately as well with the astrology, with the full moon energy in particular. A few Grand Crosses, and Grand Crosses literally mean being at a crossroads in our lives. It can also mean struggle, which I also feel that this is about as well. And then we have the Seven of Swords in the energy of what's moving away, what's been around us for a while. And the Seven of Swords, for me, is always like a warning card. It's like I see this as a disinformation energy. Everything's very dark, it's all very sinister. He's carrying these 7 swords, which are also reflected in the shadow down here as well. So in a way, it's kind of saying also, like, watch our backs, we need to be careful. And it also looks to me quite like that medical procedure, shall we say, these kind of pointy injections. There's also something about that coming out in this card as well. And the Seven of Swords can also be a card of self-deception as well, a card of feeling as though we've been cheated or lied to. He's going through this door here, this back door, rather than going through the front door. He can't, what's the word, announce himself through the front door. So he's having to go through the back door, which is kind of how I feel that this whole thing has been, the whole health thing. And this looks like something that's quite unhealthy. All of this kind of like rubbish tip kind of thing here. It looks like an unhealthy, infested kind of energy in this card. And like things have been done very sneakily, not at all up front. Yeah, there's something very sneaky about that card. And the underlying energy, the root cause or the subconscious of what we're in at this time is the Nine of Wands, which of course is the card before this 10 here. So here he's on his journey back home, but it's in reverse. So again, it feels as though it's an energy that's been around. We've kind of been stuck, if you like, in this. And this is a big storm here as well. A big storm that's kind of holding things back, or we are feeling on a deeper level this kind of, it feels like this emotional turmoil. It's energy of, because that's where we want to be. It's almost like this is our future. That's where we want to be, but we're kind of stuck here in this stormy, chaotic, which is what we're coming into, this stormy, chaotic period of time before the final push through this kind of gap here. If you look here, there's this gap between these two rocks, and that's where he's trying to steer through. But the more they're trying to steer that boat, the more it's kind of staying stuck. And in some ways it's kind of saying that we have to let go and allow life to take us where we need to be, rather than always needing to be in control or trying to make something happen the way that we want it to happen, because that's not necessarily always the right thing, which is kind of what this Magician card is saying to me here as well, that sometimes we try to take too much control and force a situation to be the way we want it to be, and that may not be the right way for it to be. So there's also, I also feel with this card as well that there is again this kind of sense of like extreme weather conditions as well, like things changing weather-wise, not being able to control it is another message that's coming through from that energy. And again, that sense of having to become a diver, a deep diver, deep sea diver, when we're in that kind of hurricane, chaotic energy. And what's moving towards us is the Ten of Pentacles. And for me, this is all the things that we need to release and let go of. It's structures. It's all that solid kind of like building of things. The Ten of Pentacles often depicts, when it's upright, it depicts this kind of happy home, happy family, success. The idea of monetary success being very important. But this card, when it's in reverse, is kind of saying the opposite in many ways. It's kind of saying that there's something that we need to release here, let it go. It's time for, as with all the tens, when you get a 10, it always means that it's time to move on to that, from that energy, but we do tend to kind of stay stuck in that energy for fear, mostly, of the unknown, of not knowing. It's like I'm secure, I'm safe, therefore I'm just going to stay here and I'm not going to grow. So that's the kind of energy that I'm getting from this, is there is this kind of no more growth. If we're not willing to step out of our comfort zone, we're not going to experience or grow any further. So in many ways we are kind of creating these situations that are coming in to help clear out the traditional, what we've known, the solidness of it, what we believe is the only way that things can be done. And then we have the High Priestess in our environment at this time. She too is in reverse, and the High Priestess for me is an energy of, well, there is a sense of innocence with the High Priestess. In this deck she represents Persephone, who was dragged down into the underworld by Pluto and forced to live in the underworld for 6 months of the year, which is why we get our seasons. She's got a pomegranate in her hand. Sorry about that, that's my cat getting on the table as they always do. No, missus, come on, not at the moment. I'll feed you in a bit. Mib's off the table. So the High Priestess is also about our inner knowing, our intuition, our trusting ourselves. But again, it's in reverse, so it feels like it's an energy that's saying that we need to discover this. This is what we need to discover. This is what we need to bring into our environment and go within, go deeper down within. When all of this chaos is happening, like my cat at this moment causing chaos, I'm just going to put her down there. Oh, and she's straight back up again, of course. When all of this chaos is taking place, what we need to do is go within, not without. Yeah, okay, so it's not about looking outwardly and trying to solve outward issues. It's about going within our own intuitive understanding of things, seeing things in a new light, a new growth again is what's coming through. So I'm having a bit of trouble here. Cat is insisting. Nibble. So the energy of what we are all kind of experiencing collectively, if you like, is the Seven of Pentacles, and it's one of the few cards that is upright in the deck, and it's saying to me that there is this dilemma of not knowing that, because we're being offered something. It's like being offered this new chance, this new beginning, but we don't know whether or not it's like a red herring, whether it's divinely inspired, where it's going to take us if we do take it. And this also for me is coming through as like the North Node energy as well, because the North Node is in Taurus, as is Mars and Uranus, this whole triple conjunction energy at this time. My cat is causing chaos during my reading. So yeah, and it kind of sums up everything that's going down. And in our hopes and our fears, we have the Four of Pentacles. Mibble. The Four of Pentacles. And I get the feeling, no, don't push that. Do not push that. That's not good. This card is saying that there is this holding on to things. It's like we want to hold on to this past energy. If you see here, he's clutching these 4 coins really tightly to his chest, because that's all he knows. That's all he has the ability to allow himself to grasp. He can only grasp a certain amount. And if he was willing to put down those 4 coins, he would be able to hold new thoughts, new ideas, which would help him to achieve more. But he's not. He's tightly holding on to that energy because he believes that that's all he has. Mib! Really? Oh, sometimes cats just get right in the way. He believes that's all he has. So that's our hopes and fears, is that we are reluctant to let go of what we know because we don't know what else there could be. And I've now lost my High Priestess. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. My cat is knocking things everywhere. Mib! Stop it. Get down. So this High Priest energy is pretty much saying the same thing as well, like the unknown. We are scared of going into the unknown because we literally don't know. We just don't know what's coming next. And so we hold on tightly to what it is that we do know because it seems safest. But again, it doesn't help us to grow. We just stay stuck in that same thought pattern, the same limited ideas. It's coming through a bit like say a business or something, because it's pentacles as well. So it's like a business that has got a certain amount of success. It's kind of reached a certain place of being successful by what it does, and then somebody else comes along and they've got these ideas of kind of expanding or making things better, but the business is too stuck in its ways and doesn't want to incorporate the new into the old, and so it pushes the new out and stays just at that same level. It doesn't achieve more than what it was already achieving. So the last 2 cards that we have here, both in reverse, the Wheel of Fortune came out first. Again, kind of linking in with the 10 of Pentacles energy of things shifting but not shifting because it's very stuck energy. Again, very inner energy. All the cave type energies I always see as being very kind of inner, intuitive kind of feeling, if you like, that inner knowing of something, that working within the self, the work on the self, within the self, rather than outwardly. Like the answers are within, but we can only discover them by going inward. But we are drawn to the outside. That's what we're drawn to. We're drawn to other people's opinions and views of the world and ideas and understanding. But this Wheel of Fortune in reverse is literally saying that there is this sense of being stuck, of this wheel kind of not reaching its completion. Another interesting thing I always find with this card as well is that each of these spokes on this wheel, if you like, it's kind of reflective of, like, if we're at the very center of this wheel and the spokes represent our thoughts and ideas. Sorry, my cat has come back again. Our thoughts and our ideas, and we're kind of going forward to meet them, and depending on what it is that we're thinking and manifesting will depend on where we are individually or collectively on this wheel at this time as well. What are the thoughts that we are putting out into the psyche, the collective psyche, that kind of brings us along on this wheel, the wheel being the representation of life. Karma is also on this wheel as well. our actions, our deeds, meeting up with them. And we also have the Six of Wands in reverse as well. So these cards represent the potential outcome, and the Six of Wands is about not understanding the victory, not seeing that even though things are not working as we would like them to, that doesn't mean that they're not in our favour, is what I'm getting coming through here. Again, it's our choice. It's our choice to see life as moments of kind of victimhood in a way, or seeing ourselves as being capable of reaching heights that we didn't necessarily believe that we could. So the Six of Wands is also an energy of kind of like getting to a stage where things are not complete. We haven't actually made that completion yet. Of course, the completion here is this Ten of Wands energy, and it's linking in with this energy of the Six of Wands as well. So at this time we may be feeling quite low, quite depressed. There's a lot of difficulties, obstacles, I feel, to overcome here. And we may not be like, on the whole, we may not be working particularly well for our advantage at this time as well. Almost like we don't believe it's possible, we don't believe we can, which again is this Magician in reverse energy as well. And we do actually have a few major arcana cards. We've got the Magician, the High Priestess and the Wheel of Fortune on the table. So let's see what else is going on at this time for the new moon in Leo. Just watching my cat at the very edge of the table where my light is and my stand for the camera is, or my phone is, and what she's going to do next for her next trick. So, Five of Cups and the Ten of Wands. And what is it that we need to know about the Five of Cups and the Ten of Wands? Five of Cups and Ten of Wands. Why are they here? Why is the Five of Cups and the Ten of Wands here? We have the Ten of Swords. So lots of endings in this reading. Things culminating. Things coming to completion. Ten of Swords is in reverse as well. It's come out in reverse when it's upright. There's this sense of release of all this kind of stress, if you like. I see these birds as kind of thoughts and worries and fears and kind of things that we carry around with us. But when it's in reverse, it's kind of saying that we're still being held down by these thoughts and beliefs and stress and worry. We're still attached to it. We're still allowing it to affect us on a daily basis. And this could also be, again, something to do with this misinformation energy as well. Disinformation energy. So there is this kind of heaviness at this time, this heavy energy is also what I'm feeling here. And we also have the 8 of Pentacles over the top of this Magician energy here as well. So the 8 of Pentacles is talking about our environment, our work situation, our value of who we are as well in many ways, why we do what we do, the time and energy and effort that we put into something. But again, there's this sense of things of our environment, if you like, our environment, our work situations, because the 8 of Pentacles often depicts that. But this Magician is kind of saying that there is a better way that we can do this, to manifest this, visualize things. Magician can also be very visualization energy, to visualize into our life. And also, of course, when the Magician is upside down, he's also kind of saying to us that our thoughts are manifesting in our life. We just don't realize it. We just don't realize that the more we put our thoughts out there in the negative, the more we see that result come back. Is also what this energy is saying here. But we have the potential to change it, but there is this, as I was saying, this sense of heaviness. We've got the 10 of Wands, the 10 of Swords, the 10 of Pentacles all out. The only one that's missing is the 10 of Cups. So that's quite interesting, because 10s are endings. I'm saying it's a place where we've reached that point of having to, not taking all them, there's too many, having to let go in order to allow ourselves to move into new territory. Whether that's limiting beliefs or creative drive for something, or our stuck ideas about how life manifests or works for itself, if you like. There's this sense of having to let go and get out of this kind of stuck way of looking at things. We've got the High Priestess again, but this time she is upright. And we've also got the Page of Pentacles, but that's in reverse as well. And this is over the top of the 7 of Swords, so this is that energy of kind of something that doesn't feel right. Yeah, that kind of unhealthy, kind of dark despairing, self-sabotaging energy. But the High Priestess is bringing in all this, it's like downloads of information. It almost feels like this is the disinformation energy here, and this is the kind of cleansing, like the truth of all of the situation, the truth here. But with the Page of Pentacles in reverse as well, it's that kind of like still not quite able to trust our inner knowing. Again, that knowing, that kind of being given this knowledge, this wisdom, this understanding, but we still don't quite know what to do with it because it's a page, and page is a young energy. So it's like we're still growing into this new energy, this new learning, this new way of being. All the pages are kind of young energy. They need to experience in order to learn and grow, particularly Pentacles, because it is about growth. But again, there's this sense of reluctancy to let go. Also, if you look at this card, I've not really noticed this before, but there is this, I don't know if you'll be able to see it because the cards are quite small. There's this, where her hand is, there's like this root that goes down and kind of wraps around her foot, and it's rooting her into the earth, but it is in reverse. Okay, so it's what it's kind of saying to me here is that there is all this information that needs to be rooted back into the earth, but as of yet we are not in that right headspace, if you like. We're not quite, it's like people doing it on their own or singularly, and there needs to be more connection, is what I'm getting, kind of disconnecting from this energy and more connection to this energy in order to bring it down and root it in the physical domain. So it's also saying to me with the High Priestess energy as well, that although like through all of that kind of darkness that we've been through and lived through, and on some level still are living through all of that, there has been this kind of new understanding and growth and like connectedness coming out of all of this. Almost like like the card was saying earlier, like the chaos card there was saying that, you know, it's only through those situations that we actually learn and grow and change and find new ways to rise above them, to get out of them. So let's see why the Nine of Wands is here as well. Nine of Wands in reverse. A stormy, chaotic energy that is holding us back. Or we are holding ourselves back with this kind of inner turmoil. So we have the Emperor energy, which is upright. I see that very much as the Leo energy. I know a lot of people see the Emperor as the Aries energy, but I always think that you cannot get bigger and greater than the Sun. So for me, the Sun is the ruler of the Emperor. And this is the Leo energy. This is being in our power. This is being strong and confident, knowing who we are. And also he's got a chess piece in his hand here as well. So it's kind of like saying, you know, what is the next move? But the Emperor energy is, of course, like, although it's the masculine energy within and without, it is also that kind of greater, more, because it's the Sun, it's that kind of divine masculine energy as well. And I don't play chess, but I think that's a king that he's holding in his hand there. I think it's the king. And the king is also Leo energy, royalty, regal. Again, inner strength. Stepping into our own inner strength and inner power is what's coming through there. And also I feel that very strongly with both of these energies as well, with the new moon in Leo and this triple conjunction that has got a lot of fire in it. Oh, we've got the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups as well. So again, more endings, more finality to something. And lastly, we've got three come out. The Nine of Wands as well. So the Nine of Wands, which is out twice. Very interesting, in the same place. Nine of Wands. In this card, there's a different kind of energy with this Nine of Wands. She's like the, well, I suppose she kind of represents, to me, she represents the ship in this sense, because the ship is battered. It's battered. It's seen better days. It's getting kind of torn apart and ruined. And this is the same ship that's here in this background here of Jason, because this is the story of Jason and the Argonauts. And the, sorry, Jason and the Golden Fleece, which is also what he's holding there in his hand as the potential outcome, and the fleece is down here as well. So this is kind of like the fleece was the prize, the Golden Fleece. So this energy here is kind of a warrior type energy that has been through a lot. And it's an energy of, on some level, of not knowing whether to trust. Especially when it comes to love as well, because love is, the Ten of Cups is the only card here that's in reverse as well. So there is this kind of feeling of being battered. Like war-torn, spiritual warrior, spiritual soldier, who just wants to get to this peaceful place here, but just keeps ending up, even like in relationships, it's like just getting bruised and battered and hurt, and kind of wants to kind of give up. It's kind of how it's feeling, and that's the kind of sense that I'm getting with this energy of this reading in general. But it's like the Emperor's there to say, like, you know, hold on. Find your kind of, with the Leo energy, find your inner sovereign being. And kind of don't let everything just fall by the wayside. Even though it is a struggle. Even though there is hardship and struggle and difficulty. Remember your inner strength, because the lion represents that inner strength. The Leo energy. And what do we have here? Okay, so over the top of the Ten of Pentacles, we have the Three of Cups in reverse. We have the Knight of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. So the Three of Cups is often seen as a celebratory card, celebration for something. I don't always see it as a celebration card. I also see it as a kind of an energy of, do you want to continue putting your time and energy and effort into something? Is it worth your while? Particularly when it comes to like personal relationships as well. Which the Ten of Pentacles kind of represents as well, because it's that ultimate kind of idea of success. But we've got the Ten of Cups here as well. We've got all four tens on the table. So there is all these endings. There's a lot of endings that are happening at this time. It can also be a card, the Three of Cups can also be a card of healing. It can also be a card of like shared emotions is also what I'm getting from this energy here, like sharing, because they're all kind of, the three of them are together, and it's like they're all sharing this experience, looking up at the stars here. But there's also this sense of things can't always stay the same. It's like it's a beautiful moment, but it's just a single moment in time. You can't kind of keep it forever. And there's this feeling of that's kind of what we, on an emotional level, we attach ourselves to these moments which don't seem to be like a bad thing. And I'm not saying that it is a bad thing, but it does, again, it's that attachment. It limits us to allowing more to come in. Again, that's that kind of message that I'm getting, is this sense of limitation from this Three of Cups, of kind of wanting to keep things, again, that sense of keeping things the way that they are, because it's a nice thing to experience. We don't want to let it go, is what I'm getting from this. But the Knight of Pentacles is kind of saying that there is more. There is more. It's like there's all of this. There is more. But in order for this to manifest, or in order for it to grow and to become more, we have to let everything else go and start again, because we've got the Ace of Pentacles here. And so the Ace of Pentacles is that new start, that new beginning, which I was talking about earlier, with this 10 here being this ending. It goes from the 10 to the Ace. This new start, a whole new way of doing things. And in fact, what I'm getting from this Knight of Pentacles as well is that he's actually dropping this load. Like all of this is kind of past situations, past experiences, past events, if you like, of things that were good at the time, or were right at the time, or they helped us to become who we are, but they are no longer needed. And so by dropping all of this, he's just carrying this one shield, this one pentacle on his back here, which is this here, which he's kind of taking away to go and plant and grow something completely different and completely new with. This new beginning, this new earth, new world, new environment, new experience. And this was also what I was seeing here, these tendrils, I suppose they are, or roots that are coming down here. She has them wrapped around her foot, so it is coming in. It's like this new growth, this new idea, this new vision has been coming in over these last few years. And now it's coming to the time for us to replant. But first of all, we have to release and let go of the past. And that's interesting because we have the Wheel of Fortune over the top of the High Priestess here. And we have the Wheel of Fortune up here as well in our potential outcome. And the Wheel of Fortune here is upright. So it feels like this is kind of us learning our lesson in a way, learning to let things go in order for this wheel to become unstuck, in order for things to move forward, to trust that inner knowing that we have, that intuitive side of who we are, that knowing that we know something when we don't know why we know it, but we know that we know it. We know it's the right decision. That's what this is kind of saying to me. And we know that we can change the future. We know that we are responsible for our own path as well. It's becoming aware. We are becoming aware. I don't know if that's what I'm going to call the reading, but that's kind of what's coming through, is this growing awareness. So what does the Seven of Pentacles want to say to us at this time? This is in our collective environment, our collective psyche energy. Seven of Pentacles, not being sure that what we're being offered is actually the right thing. And I'm also seeing that as this Ace of Pentacles here as well. This pentacle that she's holding in her hand and offering to him. I often see sevens as dilemma energy. Like kind of stuck in between. There's also a sense of, again, like having to let go and give up on what it is that he's kind of worked his way towards with all of these Seven Pentacles up the wall here as well. But there's also a sense of being on top of the world with this card as well, being on top of our, like, I'm going to sense a kind of masters of our own destiny, masters and mistress of our own destiny. Also with the High Priestess in reverse as well, it could also relate to that feminine side not being accepted, like not trusting the feminine side because we've not been brought up to be intuitive and trusting our feelings, which isn't just feminine, but it's that kind of feminine energy, the moon. The feminine, the feelings. I'm not saying that it's not something that men don't have, that men also have that, but it is that side, that is their feminine side, that is something that is very mistrusted. So there also feels like this need for the balance here, in a way. So what have we got here? Over the Seven of Pentacles, we have the Two of Wands, which is this energy of looking out. On the outside world, kind of waiting for something to happen. And it can be this sense of having an idea, but not knowing how to put it into action. And we have the Ace of Wands in reverse, sorry, Ace of Swords in reverse here as well. And this could be this sense of not feeling like you've got all the information that's needed in order to be able to do something with these wands here, in order to be able to actually start creating and manifesting something, because we're still kind of trapped in this kind of cerebral world of thought, of just going round and round and round. The same kind of thought patterns. And needing to break free from that as well. And we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And again, there's that sense of not trusting the feminine, not trusting our inner mother, if you like. The Queen of Pentacles is very much that kind of mothering, nurturing, earth energy. You can see these antlers kind of growing out of her head on either side, which is like these branches, and they kind of represent that kind of tuning into the earth energy, tuning into what's needed, this kind of knowing, the right, or having the right answer at the right time. But again, because it's in reverse, it does feel like this sense of not accepting that side, that kind of feminine, intuitive knowing, because we're kind of really caught up in the mind, trapped in this ongoing kind of spiraling of thoughts. And kind of going, it feels like, because it's in reverse as well, it's like taking us down, 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 down. And then kind of just going over the same old ground again is how that's coming through. And then we have the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is memories. So you see here, this same image, this is him as a younger child with his puppy. And this is him now grown up, and he's still got his puppy here, or his puppy's now become a full-grown dog as well. And it's like everything that got them from there to there, all that kind of love and play and enjoyment and happiness, and But there's also a sense of with the Six of Cups, there's also this sense of nostalgia, because this is what this card is about. There's something nostalgic about kind of the past energy here as well. The nostalgia is also possibly the reason that we can't let things go easily. Because down here she's also got a globe, and there's a picture of a camper van here as well. So it's almost like an adventure, an adventurous energy. It's like wanting to go out and have this adventure and this new world, this new joy, this new fun experience. But this is how it came out. But we're held back by our own worries and fears and stress. Again, that kind of mind control. Kind of stopping it, blocking it, not allowing us to actually experience it. With the Queen of Pentacles here as well, that kind of sense of, as I was saying earlier, like not trusting our own inner knowing and our own inner well-being. And then the Six of Cups is that kind of nostalgic, returning to that nostalgic and living in that nostalgic energy. Staying. Like the past was always better. Kind of feeling that sense of, oh, but it was always better back then. And that's kind of all of this energy here from this Seven of what she's offering here. Is bringing up all of this. It's bringing up all this worry, this fears, these doubts. Not trusting our own also with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse as well, it can also be to do with comfort zone as well, because the Queen of Pentacles does like her comforts. Can be very self-indulgent energy. So there could be elements of that there as well. It's safe here, it's secure. I've kind of created this wonderful space for myself and I don't want to move out of it. And just kind of staying in this dream world as well, because they are both sleeping as well. I've just noticed that they are both of these energies here have got their eyes shut. She's got her eyes shut and she's got her eyes shut, and that's kind of where it's kind of leading me to into here, because even he's kind of reminiscing in a way, dreamland, dream world, kind of staying stuck in the past energy. And then we have in our hopes and fears, we have the Star, and the Star is also in reverse. So the Star is that hope, it is that sense of something more, something bigger, destiny, but it's in reverse again. So we're kind of again being held back by our own lack, our own mistrust of who we are. Or mistrust of the universe, mistrust of the of our journey, our destiny, of who we are, of who we can become. But again, it's like we know there's more. It's like we are aware that there is more. But in some ways, that more is frightening. It's frightening. It's something that we don't necessarily want to discover. The connection, which is what I see this here, this connection energy to everything, to source energy, to creativity itself, because on some level it will also make us responsible as well if we go beyond giving our power away to other people. We then have to take that responsibility for ourselves. And again, there's that sense of kind of having to move out of our comfort zone and not necessarily wanting to do that either. Even though it's a false sense of security. So lastly, with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse and the Six of Wands in reverse, the potential outcome here is the Two of Pentacles in reverse. And the Two of Pentacles is that kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out energy. In reverse, again, it's kind of saying to me that there's this sense of not really being certain or sure. It's like wanting to move forward, but then again, like staying trapped. There's a kind of similarity I'm getting from these two energies here. Yeah, I always see this as kind of 1 foot in, one foot in, 1 foot out. So it's kind of straddling between the two worlds, or the two energies, the changes. So not being fully involved in something, either side. It's like trying to leave something and move into something else, but at the same time not quite fully committed is the word I'm being given here. Not fully committed. And so the Two of Pentacles in reverse is kind of saying that that's kind of, we're stuck in this in-between space at this time. We're not fully committed to, and we've got this Wheel of Fortune and the Six of Wands as well, which is this sense of again, this sense of kind of not trusting our destination is what's coming out with all of those three together. Not trusting our destination, not trusting our path, not trusting the potential for victory, for... And it's also kind of coming through with this kind of north-south node energy as well, which we're experiencing at this time. This energy of kind of leaving the south node energy of Scorpio and moving into this north node energy here, which is kind of our destiny. That is our destiny. That is our star, our calling, karmic energy at this time, which is where this conjunction that is taking place. Oh, there's another card here. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't see that this had come out as well. The Magician again, upright this time. So that's really interesting, because that, I feel, is this new world. This is us straddling between these energies of this Magician here, who's kind of how can I put it? It's like this galaxy down here. It's like this Magician represents the source energy, if you like. Which actually, like, both his hands are kind of creating this kind of lemniscat, this kind of, which is what he's got on his hood as well, this kind of infinity symbol, that nothing ever ends, there is no end, there is no beginning to anything. It is continuous. And that this is the new continuous, if you like. This is us continuing on the next stage of our journey. But it also feels as well here with this Magician upright that we're kind of moving more into that understanding of acceptance of something much bigger than just the kind of physical earthly domain that we live on. And that's what I feel about this energy here as well, this hopes and fears. Like, there's this fear here that there is something much grander, something much bigger. It's like we're so used to kind of like just living on this planet, and this idea of kind of floating around in this space, and that we are the only beings in this vast, vast universe. And that the idea is shocking, the idea that there is more to life, or there is more life, and that it could possibly be connected to us, is this kind of scary. It's like, no, I'd rather just hang on to what I know, what I understand. It's like, don't rock the boat is also what I'm getting there as well. Don't rock the boat, don't upset the status quo. There's quite a lot of status quo in this reading. But the Magician I see as this kind of Uranus energy. I do see it as the Aquarius energy, bringing in that new Aquarian energy that's going to change things, shift things up. It's almost like he's got like this light behind him, which is channeling down towards the kind of the galaxy, if you like, the galaxy that we are all a part of, connecting to all the planets and everything kind of doing what it's meant to do. And we can't, there's also this kind of sense that we can't escape that. That is not what we're here to do. We're not here to escape it. We're here to experience it. There's an up-leveling as well in this energy. There is an up-leveling. But let's see what these cards here have to say. That's a very Leo-looking energy. Fire elemental. I ignite the fire within me that connects me to the divine. which is kind of like these two energies here. And that's what it's saying that we need to do, is kind of ignite that fire, that passion, that drive for something new. And then we have water elemental, and then she's saying, I allow my body, mind and spirit to flow intuitively through the changes in life. Which is interesting as well, because we've got this intuitive energy here, and changes of course that are coming in. And so lastly, I just want to pull one of these angel script cards to see what the bigger message is from the angels. Seems to be this sense of kind of reluctant shifting is how I would put it. Like this reluctant shifting into the new energy, but we're not, on the whole, taking to it easily. So what have we got? We've got Hanael, which is the energy of Mars, I think. Mars, Hanael, blood, I believe it's to do with. Let's just have a quick look and see what he's about. Yep, blood. So, Hanael brings new energy and a sense of direction. It drives the blood to the heart and renews the cells. Hanael never ceases in its intention to assert life and conquer doubt. Raphael does this with a quiet reassurance, Hanael with vigour and tenacity. Hanael fights the war, Raphael heals the wounds. They both seek equilibrium, but approach their task from opposite standpoints. Hanael is the lieutenant of Michael, who commands the activities of the soul in its search for wholeness. Hanael is a spiritual warrior, whose charge is to withstand the enemies of purpose who batter at the quester's gate. That's interesting, because that was the energy that I was getting there, this spiritual warrior. Hello, Missy. That's my other cat who's come to tell me to hurry up. Food. It brings supplies of weapons, and we should not fear to go into battle. With Hanael, we do not create unnecessary conflict. We simply take up arms against chaos and put things in order. There's that word again. This archangel tells us that help is available for seekers when they feel overwhelmed by exterior pressures or forces beyond their control. Hanael refuels the soul and the body and drives us forward. Hanael energizes new life in the spring and is friend to gardener and farmer. Hanael's dynamic is as essential to the life process as that of Raphael. It creates warmth and vitality and refuses to surrender to darkness. In the winter, the darkness has a task to play. Seeds rest in the quiet spaces of the earth, and they need silence and no light. But when the seeds have germinated, they creep up insistent towards the sun, and the darkness must surrender its hold in order that growth may continue. Hanael forges ahead relentlessly, slaying that which impedes progress towards the goal. So, there we go. Hanael, also the Mars energy, and Mars is playing a big part at this time of this triple conjunction with Uranus as well. So change is definitely all around us. The chaos is coming, and we need to be able to let go of what no longer is. In general, just what no longer is. So I'm going to finish the reading there and say thank you very much to those of you who have stayed and listened to the end. Again, it's been quite a long read. Hopefully you've got something out of it. Hopefully it's tried to help you make more sense of what's going on around you at this time. If it has, please could you thumbs it up for me. The more likes I get, the more thumbs, which is really easy to do, and it doesn't cost anything, and it just lets the platform know that people are interacting and watching my videos, and therefore it shows that people have interest in my channel, which I'm trying to grow at this time as well. I do all the full moons and the new moons for those of you who haven't been on my channel before, and I also do have a playlist of all the zodiac signs as well, because I do the sun sign readings, although I haven't done them for a while because I've been very kind of focused on what's happening with these new and full moon energy, with the astrology as well as the tarot readings. So for those of you who are interested in more of the astrology, my astrology reading is out there as well. Also, could you please subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already? Please share my videos with anybody you think might find them of interest, and also comment just to let me know how you feel about my readings, and also again to let the channel know that there is interaction happening here as well. All helps. And so I'm going to wish you all the best for this new moon in Leo energies that we're in at this time, up until the full moon that's taking place in 2 weeks. And until then, please take really good care of yourselves and anybody else around you who you can at this time, especially as things get more and more crazy out there, which they are going to do. So take good care, and hopefully see you again soon.